Yo, my beautiful cat lovers! Today we're going to make 2 funky cat collars to prevent cats from catching birds. We're gonna go through every step exploring 2 different techniques with and without a sewing machine to protect the precious birds from our pet predators. Get ready for extra cuteness! A Bird Stewardship Action Plan says that in Canada, cats kill between 100 and 350 million birds per year. In United States, cats kill 1 to 4 billion birds per year. In Australia, 1 million birds per day. And the list goes on. Here, our cats are free to go outside. They walk amongst our other animals. They love to be out there, as much as we love them to be around. Compared to Jet, that is slow and cuddly, Olive is fast and furious. She is very playful and adventurous, and she gets excited about anything. As soon as the snow started to melt, she started hunting. Even though this cute little creature might seem inoffensive, she soon will be catching birds. And I have a plan to stop that. A few years ago, I found a company called Birds Be Safe, who made funky cat collars to protect birds. With an 87% reduction in birds caught, this thing works. I prefer this design instead of adding a bell to a collar. Cats also learn how to hunt with bells. The concept is to make a visible collar for birds to see from afar. The birds can see the cat coming and have time to escape. Not any fabrics works for this. I chose a fabric that had bright, vibrant colors and funky patterns that dissociate from nature. Birds have different color receptors. It's important to choose a fabric that interacts with that. It needs to stand out from the landscape. I found this fabric at the thrift store, so I need to make a few modifications before diving in. I'm taking out the tool to break strings. But after many attempts, I have no idea how to use it. I chose the good old ripping method, which worked beautifully. So, first step, you need to fold your fabric in 2. Then, to help you trace a line, find a round object about 10.5 inches by 10.5 inches. In centimeters, that's 26. Then trace a line. It's best to choose a marker that works. And then, in the center of the circle, trace another circle with a smaller object, about 4 inches by 4 inches. So 9 centimeters. That will be for the neck. And now it's time to cut. We cut the neck circle first. And then the outside of the collar. And before we sew, we will inverse the fabric so it's inside out, or more like outside in. We cut a line in the collar, and we will slightly fold out the 4 extremities of the collar, securing it. That step is optional. And then we secure the 2 layers together with needles to maintain it in place. Sewing time! We start by sewing the 4 folded extremities independently. This will make the ends smoother and prevent fabric strings from pulling out. After that's done, we sew the inside neck part of the collar. I'm using a crust stitch, 1 point on the inside of the fabric and the other on the outside. And after a first line, I make another one to strengthen the stitch. Here we have the neckline And finally it's time for the outside line, still with the zigzag stitch. And I give it another go for a second row of sewing. Here you can see me playing God, sewing with no hands. But I'm not God, and that was stupid. Oops. So here we have the sewing done, yeah. And now we're gonna turn the fabric inside out. We have a beautiful, invisible and strong stitch. And now it's time for the collar inside the collar. Cause we do need something to hold it all together on that little furry neck. If you already have a collar, just stick that in. But if you don't, you can cut a piece of string and separate the strings in two to make it thinner. I want the cat to be able to get out of the collar. I've heard about cats choking to death because their collars were stuck, and there's no way I'm letting this happen under my crafty hands. By making a thin string, if it gets stuck in a branch or something, it will break easily and free the cat. So I'm putting the string inside. And as for the knot, you can do a simple knot, but if you want to make a sliding knot, which adds extra safety,
check that video.
There's a surprise inside. So when your knot is done, you can tuck in the extremities together. And there you have it, a bird alarm collar.
Let's save birds together.
Watch me save those birds, yeah. I first tried a collar on Jetpack. Amazing. But the real troublemaker is that one. And she never wore a collar before, only a harness. I thought she would not want to keep the collar on. But surprisingly, she was absolutely fine with it. Woohoo! It did not get in the way of her movements. She still could do everything. Play, eat, she could even bathe with it. There she is meowing at birds. But now she can't catch them as easily. And her camouflage is a little less effective. Watch me save those birds, yeah. As for Jetpack, I made another type of collar, all made by hand, no machine, with a broken pair of pens I had traveling in India. It's basically the same tools. Like with the other collar, I start by tracing and cutting 2 rounds. And I stitch the outside by hand with a basic stitch point. Any basic stitch would work really. I cut a line in the collar and stitch the inside the same way. I reverse the collar and add a sliding string collar, like I'm teaching in my other video. Jet was watching me carefully. I guess he could not wait to try it on. Pinaki. He seemed very comfortable with it and not disturbed at all. In movement, the collar works well. Let him move, bathe, and eat. And also climb. This footage is from a few years ago, and indeed, Jetpack did not catch any bird with that collar on that summer. At least, none that I know of. it's important to protect our biodiversity and admit that our house pets can be a real harm to nature. So let's be responsible, raise awareness, and protect it in the best way we can. Thanks for watching and caring. Bye! Watch me save those birds, yeah!